It's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff. Never.
FTX's recent collapse has left a lot of investors and account holders unable to access their funds and without a pathway to regain their funds, as FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried are embroiled in legal and bankruptcy proceedings. In response, SBF went on a media circuit attempting to make amends for what went wrong and claim his innocence. Hello, my name is Kevin Carr. I talk about business, software, and psychology. How did Sam Bankman-Fried attempt to claim innocence? The CEO claimed ignorance on the close relationship and improper use of customer funds between both parts of the firm. The research arm was making risky investments and leveraging customer funds without permission from the customers, even according to customers' terms of service, which said that your digital assets were yours. Combine that with the fact that there was a lack of proper systems, internal governance, and risk management procedures in place to deter any risk, and there was a commingling of funds between multiple parts of this whole FTX entity.
The FTX group's collapse appears to stem from absolute concentration of control in the hands of a small group of grossly inexperienced and unsophisticated individuals who failed to implement virtually any of the systems or controls that are necessary for a company entrusted with other people's money or assets.
Throughout this whole collapse, multiple parties along the way failed to play their part and play that part as a check and balance. The media quickly crowned and painted a wonderkin in the burgeoning crypto industry, and investors were quick to accept the carefully crafted narrative that SBF had painted. Throughout this whole collapse, multiple parties failed to play their part as a check and balance. The media quickly crowned and painted a wonderkin in the burgeoning crypto industry. Investors were quick to accept the carefully crafted narrative that SBF had painted. A captives claiming to solely want money in order to eventually donate and to disperse it into worthwhile causes. Investors being enamored by credentialism and fear of missing out on the next great investment startup. Finally, the head of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, whether you believe he was truly ignorant of his decisions or not being able to take proper precautions and enable proper risk management structures in order to prevent something like this from happening. And as we'll get into, it doesn't even really matter if his intents were noble, because he ended up breaking the law, allegedly, by commingling and using customer funds between these two entities.
Intent means nothing. Saying sorry means nothing. If you commingle, if you had no record keeping, those are against the law.
This is like allowing a business partner to borrow your car and they loan it out to their friend and they end up junking it. They end up just completely crashing it, and you basically have no car at the end. This is what a lot of customers who use the FTX platform are at this point. They can't access any of their funds that they deposited into this online trading platform. They've essentially lost or been locked out of the money they've had. This reminds me of the key phrase that you hear: if you don't own the keys to your cryptocurrency, you don't actually own the underlying cryptocurrency. And unfortunately, a lot of people are locked out. And I think one other interesting aspect to consider is with this whole media blitz is how important controlling the narrative is. I think SBF was very intentional in him wanting to portray himself, probably against the advice of legal counsel, that he didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. Like this money just disappeared out of thin air.
I think that what a lot of people are struggling with here is that, you were an MIT physics major.
Yep.
You are, by all accounts, a very smart guy. How is it possible that you overlooked this more than $5 billion problem?
I ask myself a lot how I made a series of mistakes that they don't just seem dumb. They seem like the type of mistakes I could see myself having ridiculed someone else for having made. The kind of mistakes that I would have considered myself to have been above.
I see a lot of people in upper management positions, CEOs, for example, they'll claim ignorance that they didn't know what was going on. But that's literally the job responsibility as being a CEO. You should know what's happening at every faction of your company. There's that underlying responsibility to know what's going on in your company and hire the right people to know what's going on. So it's frustrating to hear this excuse from a lot of people when they're caught in and embroiled in these controversies and PR scandals, and especially the collapse of a company where they're claiming this ignorance when they should have a sophisticated knowledge on a lot of different aspects of their business. In terms of the media, what is their role and responsibility in actually detailing the rise of a new startup founder, of a business profile on a CEO or CTO? What responsibility do they have in creating this hype, this social proof that is an underlying psychological trigger for a lot of people? A lot of people who make these investments, especially venture capitalists, they often get stuck in this sense and psychological bias of social proof. In terms of venture capital investment, Sequoia Capital, while they were going through their capital investment meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, they eventually found out on a call where he's giving a pitch that he was playing League of Legends. Leave it to Silicon Valley venture capital firms to take this as a positive symbol where, oh, like he was able to give this great pitch while he was playing a video game. I take that as a sign of being unprofessional, and somehow this was taken as something, as a glowing review of his capabilities, that he was able to concurrently just play a game and answer all their questions while giving an amazing pitch. In a lot of the news, Sam Bankman-Fried was praised for going to MIT for physics and math, that his parents were compliance legal experts, how he had worked at Jane Street and actually found arbitrage opportunities and made millions there before starting his own firm at Alameda Research. Whenever we hear these kind of exceptional stories, we have to be careful that we're not drawn into the narrative, that we're not prisoners of the moment, and actually look at the facts of any case or any potential investment. It's easy to want to buy into something that could be speculative, have to find the intrinsic value of an investment and do your due diligence. Don't be over enthusiastic when it's a boom market. Rather, look at the facts and see if this is going to be an investment that you're going to be enjoying 10 years down the line, something that you truly believe in, not something that you can make a quick buck on. Now, in terms of Sam Bankman-Fried, I'll be honest, I don't believe what he's peddling, especially in these interviews. His intentions don't matter. It doesn't matter if he's sorry that customer funds were used by Alameda Research. The fact that it happens led to these negative outcomes and was borderline illegal just shows you the importance you have to have when you're starting your own company, to have these systems in place, to understanding accounting, to understand managerial accounting, to know where the money is coming from and where it's going out. For any type of investment, any type of company you follow, anywhere you put your money, if something seems too good to be true, it is. So what can we learn from this whole situation? You gotta do your due diligence, you gotta do your research. Don't believe the narrative that always gets put out. Do your own research, think long-term in your decision making, and make sure that if you're gonna put your dollar in investing something, you truly believe it's gonna be there for the long term. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.